हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू आवर ऑनलाइन एजुकेशनल वीडियो। आज हम बात करने वाले एक छोटे से टॉपिक पे। आज हम डिस्कस करने वाले एक छोटा सा टॉपिक रिलेटेड टू द डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम। पिछले कई वीडियोस से हम डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। हम बात कर चुके हैं एलिमेंट्री कैनल के बारे में, हम बात कर चुके हैं एक्सेसरी ऑर्गन्स के बारे में। पिछले वीडियो में हम पैंक्रेटिक जूस के बारे में बोल चुके हैं। अब हम बात करने वाले हैं आज के लेक्चर में गैस्ट्रिक जूस के बारे में। आज का जो वीडियो है हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे कि ये गैस्ट्रिक जूस होता क्या है, इसे कौन सीक्रेट करता है, इसके कंपोजिशन क्या होते हैं और फंक्शन क्या होते हैं। और इसके बाद एक और पॉइंट हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं कि व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट फेजेस बाय विच दिस गैस्ट्रिक एसिड सिक्रेशन इज कंट्रोल्ड। Is there any system available in our body that control the secretion of gastric acid in our body? So let us start our discussion related to the gastric juice. So the very first one, how this gastric juice is secreted, and it is nothing but what I must say, it is the stomach. So stomach is being responsible for the secretion of gastric juice. So what are the arrangements made within the stomach that results into the release of gastric juice? Somewhere while studying the organs of alimentary canal, we studied about the stomach. Within the stomach, we studied about the structure and the structure of the stomach, and within the structure of stomach, we studied the mucosal layer of the stomach. So let us have the revision over that one. What is the mucosa or the mucosal layer of the stomach is made up of? So we said it is made up of the simple columnar epithelial cell, and this time it is composed of goblet cells. Now we are familiar with what these goblet cells are responsible for the secretion of mucus. So within this mucosa, the large number of goblet cells are found to be appear. So whenever we say about the gastric juice, that gastric juice also consists of the secretion from this goblet cell, that is nothing but the mucus. So it is not a simple secretion from the gastric gland, but the mucosal gland, mucus secreting glands are also there that secrete their secretion as a part of gastric secretion. So the goblet cells are present. We also said the gastric glands. These gastric glands are made up of the two type of cells, we said. So as far as the mucosa of stomach is considered, it is made up of the gastric glands, and this gastric gland is made up of the two type of cells. First of all, we said the parietal cells, and this parietal cell is responsible for the secretion of gastric juice. And the chief cell, the second type of cells present in the gastric gland, known as the chief cell. These chief cells are involved in the production of pepsinogen and the intrinsic factor. So as a component of the gastric juice, the pepsinogen is also present, intrinsic factor is also present, mucus is also present within the gastric acid secretion, and collectively it is known as a gastric acid secretion or the gastric juice. We also said that the cells of the pyloric gland secrete mucus and the hormone gastrin. So it is not part of our gastric acid secretion, but it was all the revision for what our stomach or the mucosal layer of our stomach is made up of. Now let us move to the topic related to our today's presentation or related to our today's video, and it is nothing but what the gastric juice. Now it is very clear for us, this gastric juice is secreted by the gastric glands. As far as these secretions are considered, these are clear and colorless secretions, and these secretions are isotonic with the blood. Means they can be easily accepted by the blood. Means they can be easily absorbed within the systemic circulation or within the blood system, as they are isotonic with the blood. About 2 liters of the gastric juice has been found to be secreted per day by our gastric glands. Let us go through the composition of the gastric juice. So the very first one, the juice is liquid in nature, and whatever it is liquid in nature, so its first component must be water. Second one, the mucus. secreted by the goblet cell is also present within the gastric juice. Mineral salts are present. The next one, hydrochloric acid, and it is a reason for what the pH within the stomach remains acidic, means in between 1 to 3. The pH of the stomach remains in between 1 to 3. It is just because of what? The secretion of hydrochloric acid as a component of gastric juice. Along with the hydrochloric acid, intrinsic factor is released, and this intrinsic factor, as we discussed, along with the pepsinogen, it is released by the chief cells present in the gastric glands. So the chief cells present in the gastric gland secrete intrinsic factor and inactive enzyme precursor pepsinogen, while hydrochloric acid, it is secreted by the parietal cells of gastric gland. As far as the pepsinogen is considered, it is said the inactive enzyme precursor. So it is a precursor to someone. So I must say it is a precursor to the pepsin. Pepsin is a proteolytic enzyme. But this pepsinogen is required to be converted into the pepsin. But when this pepsinogen is released into the stomach, it is generally present in an inactive state. And when it comes in contact with the acidic environment, in the stomach, this pepsinogen gets converted into the pepsin. And once the pepsin is formed, once the pepsinogen is converted into pepsin, the pepsin itself carry out the conversion of pepsinogen into the pepsin. Means there are two factors that may increase the conversion of pepsinogen into the pepsin. One, gastric acid, that is acidic environment, and the second one, the pepsin itself. So this is a composition related to the gastric juice. So study this composition as far as the 2 marks question is considered. So whenever the 5 marks question is asked, so it can be asked along with the composition of the gastric juice and the functions of gastric juice. 5 mark question can be asked over the gastric juice preparation. Now let us move to what are the functions of gastric juice. What we said that the 5 mark question can be asked, explain the composition and function of gastric juice. So each and every component present in the gastric juice has its unique function. So the water is present. So what is the function of water? It is helpful for the liquefaction of the food that is being swallowed and present in the stomach. So whatever the food is present in the stomach, it is going to be liquefied with the help of water. So water dilutes the food material present in the stomach. Another function is related to the mucus. Mucus is a sticky substance released by the goblet cells located within the mucosal layer of the stomach. So what exactly the role of mucus is there when it is secreted into the stomach? So it prevents the mechanical and the chemical injury to the mucosal membrane. So we said that within the gastric juice hydrochloric acid is present. So there are chances that that hydrochloric acid may damage to the mucosal membrane. But this damage is prevented by means of a mucus. Or by means of any hard substances are swallowed or the engulfed by a person, it may also produce the mechanical injury to the gastric mucosal layer. But it can be prevented by means of the mucus, and it is a reason for what the mucus is secreted within the stomach as a part of gastric juice. Another one, hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid present in the gastric juice has a number of functions. The very first one, it acidifies the food and stop the action of salivary amylase. We said the amylase enzyme is present in the saliva, and second one, we are also well known about this amylase is also present in a pancreatic juice. At that time it is known as a pancreatic amylase. When this amylase is present in the saliva, it is known as a salivary amylase. But so whenever we take a food, the food get mixed into the mouth with saliva, and this salivary amylase is present. So inactivation of this salivary amylase takes place when it comes in contact with the hydrochloric acid. So inactivation of the salivary amylase and acidification of the food takes place under the influence of hydrochloric acid. Number 2, if the microorganism by anyhow enters into the stomach, it can be killed with the effect of acidic environment of hydrochloric acid. Number 3, as we said earlier, it is responsible for the activation of pepsinogen. When the pepsinogen is released into the stomach as a part of gastric juice, it is present in an inactive state. So its activation required the acidic environment, and it is possible just because of the hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid provides the acidic environment required for the activation of pepsinogen, means the conversion of pepsinogen into the pepsin. And what is the pepsin? We already discussed, it is a proteolytic enzyme, means being responsible for the breakdown of proteins into the amino acids. Another important factor present in the gastric juice, it is the intrinsic factor. And this intrinsic factor doesn't have any role in the stomach, but it has a role in the intestine. In intestine, it has for the absorption of vitamin B12. So the vitamin B12, whenever it is taken exogenously through the diet, it enters into the stomach, and through the stomach, this vitamin B12 when reaches to the intestine, where the absorption of vitamin B12 takes place. But for the absorption of this vitamin B12, it requires the another factor known as an intrinsic factor. So it is a carrier molecule. Intrinsic factor, it is a carrier molecule for the vitamin B12. While the deficiency of intrinsic factor may lead to the decrease in the absorption of vitamin B12. And this vitamin B12 is important in the neurological function, and it is also important in the synthesis of RBCs. So the synthesis of RBCs and many neurological functions are under the control of vitamin B12 or controlled by the vitamin B12. So whenever there is a deficiency of intrinsic factor, it may impair the absorption of vitamin B12, and the impairment in the absorption of vitamin B12 may lead to the neurological disorder, or may lead to the pernicious anemia. As we said that vitamin B12 is essential for the synthesis of RBCs. This time it produces the anemia, and the kind of anemia is known as pernicious anemia. So the deficiency of vitamin B12, we can say the deficiency of vitamin B12 may lead to the pernicious anemia. And this time the factor is what? Whenever there is a deficiency of intrinsic factor, if the intrinsic factor is not released properly, that may lead to the pernicious anemia. If your intrinsic factors are well, there will be the deficiency of taking, there will be less amount of vitamin B12 might be taking as a part of the food material. So it may be also the cause where the actual deficiency of vitamin B12 may also result to the pernicious anemia. And another component, we said the inactive enzyme precursor pepsinogen. So what is a pepsinogen? We already said that it is a proteolytic enzyme, and being it's a proteolytic means breakdown of the protein, it is responsible for the digestion of protein. So far we discussed about the composition and again the functions of gastric juice. So be prepared for the 5 marks. This question can be asked in the examination. So let us move forward to the next topic related to the gastric juice, and that is nothing but what? Secretion of gastric juice. This question can be asked for the 5 marks. Explain the various phases of gastric acid secretion or the gastric juice secretion. There are 3 phases that control the gastric acid secretion. The very first one, cephalic phase. Cephalic phase results into the increased gastric acid secretion before the food reaches to the stomach. Definitely gastric acid secretions are going to be increased, but it should be increased when the food material reaches to the stomach. But when the cephalic phase gets activated, it results into the increase in gastric acid secretion due to the reflux stimulation of vagus nerve. What is this vagus nerve? It is a parasympathetic nerve. Vagus nerve that reaches to the gastric glands, and it results into reflex stimulation of vagus nerve. And how does it results into stimulation? By the sight, smell, taste, or even the thought of food. I said before the food reaches to the stomach, the gastric acid secretions are going to be increased, and it takes place within a phase known as the cephalic phase. So what are the factors that may result into increase in gastric acid secretion? It is nothing but what? Even the sight, smell, taste, or the thought of food results into stimulation of vagus nerve, and vagus nerve which reaches to the gastric gland results into increased secretion of gastric acid. तो अब ऐसा होता है कि बहुत बार कि हम सिर्फ जो खाना है वो हम देख लें, या उसका स्मेल आ जाए, उसका थोड़ा सा टेस्ट भी ले लिया जाए, या इवन हम थॉट भी कर लें कि हमें कोई खाना खाना है, तो इट रिजल्ट्स इनटू द इंक्रीज इन द गैस्ट्रिक एसिड सिक्रेशन इन द स्टमक. और ये होने की वजह से वो जो कुछ भी फूड सब्सटेंस के बारे में हम सोच रहे हैं उसे खाने की हमारी इच्छा होती है. So that is nothing but what? It is just because of what? The cephalic phase. So cephalic phase, the very first step that controls the gastric acid secretion. Remember, it results into increase in gastric acid secretion due to the vagus nerve stimulation. Vagus nerve, parasympathetic nerve that reaches to the gastric gland. So the vagus nerve gets stimulated by the sight, smell, taste, and even the thought of food. The number 2 phase involved, it is a gastric phase. Gastric phase means what? Stomach. Stomach itself controls the release of gastric acid. How? It also results into the increase in gastric acid secretion, but this time when the food reaches to the stomach. So as soon as the food reaches to the stomach, the enteroendocrinal cells of stomach releases a hormone known as a gastrin. So gastrin is a hormone released by the stomach. Somewhere when we studied the functions of stomach, at that time we also come in contact with this hormone, that is a gastrin hormone. So as soon as the food particle enters into the stomach, the wall of the stomach gets stretched, and due to the stretching of the wall of the stomach, it results into the stimulation of enteroendocrinal cells, and these enteroendocrinal cells releases a hormone into the blood system. Which hormone? Gastrin hormone. Gastrin hormone is released into the blood, and through the blood it stimulates the gastric gland to release or to secrete the gastric acid. And that is nothing but the second phase, gastric phase. Number 3, it is the intestinal phase. So we said the cephalic phase increases gastric acid secretion before the food reaches to the stomach. Gastric phase also increases the gastric acid secretion, but when the food reaches to the stomach. And now the intestinal phase means what? When the food material enters into the intestine. So what should happen? So when there is an absence of food in the stomach, because now the food is present in the intestine, the food has come down to the intestine. Now the stomach is empty. So when the stomach is empty, there is no role of the gastric acid. So intestinal phase, so when the food material reaches into the intestine, intestinal phase starts, and due to the starting of intestinal phase, it results into the decrease in gastric acid secretion. This intestinal phase results into decrease in gastric acid secretion, and it also causes decrease in the gastric motility. And it also takes place under the influence of certain hormones, by releasing the certain hormones. As soon as the food reaches, or the chyme so called, into the stomach, the food when mixed with the gastric acid, gastric juice, now it is known as a chyme. So when chyme reaches to the intestine, the endocrinal cells of the intestine releases the two hormones, secretin and cholecystokinin. This secretin and cholecystokinin, just before when we studied about the gallbladder, at that time we also come in contact with these two hormones. Whenever this secretin and cholecystokinin, these hormones are released, it results into the inhibition of gastric gland to release gastric acid. So the secretion of gastric juice is going to be decreased under the influence of hormone secretin and cholecystokinin. What does the presence of this hormone in the blood indicates? It indicates that now the stomach is started to empty, has been started to empty, and the food particle, the food material has moved down to the intestine. Now the intestinal phase. So during the intestinal phase, there is a decrease in the gastric acid secretion. It also results into decrease in gastric motility. And this gastric motility, decrease in the gastric motility, results into the decrease in gastric emptying rate, the rate at which the stomach empties into the small intestine. It is decreased, and it is essential for what? There should be an appropriate mixing, or there should be a thoroughly mixing of chyme with pancreatic and bile secretion. Pancreatic and bile secretion. When the cholecystokinin is released, we also said that this cholecystokinin through the blood reaches to the gallbladder, and where it results into contraction of gallbladder, and biliary secretions are secreted into the duodenum. So whenever the biliary secretion reaches to the duodenum, pancreatic secretion also reaches to the duodenum. So as soon as the food material starts to enter into the duodenum, the biliary juice and the pancreatic juice also enters into the duodenum. So by retarding the gastric emptying rate, or by decreasing the gastric motility, it results into the thoroughly mixing of chyme with the pancreatic secretions and the biliary secretion, so that the process of digestion can be performed properly. So that's all as far as our today's lecture is considered. We said we have to discuss only about the gastric juice composition, function, and the various phases of gastric acid secretion. So be prepared for this question. This question can be asked for the 5 marks, and earlier discussion over the composition and function, it can be also asked for the 5 marks. So keep your study going on, study hard, don't be relaxed, and enjoy your day. Thank you very much.